It started as a normal evening, or at least I had hoped it would be. I came home from work, exhausted, imagining a quiet dinner with my wife, Emily, and maybe some laughter about our day. But as I stepped through the door, the air felt wrong, strained, heavy, as if I had walked into a room I didn't belong in. Emily was on the couch, scrolling on her phone, barely glancing up as I greeted her. "Hey," I said softly, my voice cutting through the silence like a knife. She mumbled something in response, more distracted than annoyed, and returned to whatever had her attention. I tried to ignore it. Maybe she was tired too. Maybe it had been a long day. But hours passed and nothing changed. She didn't ask about my work, didn't comment on the dinner I had picked up on the way home, didn't even acknowledge my presence beyond a cursory glance. My frustration built quietly, like a storm gathering just out of sight, but I refused to explode. Not yet. Then came the call. My phone rang, the screen lighting up with an unknown number. Hesitant, I answered and a familiar, teasing voice floated through the line. Well, so you're home alone, huh? It was Jessica, Emily's friend. We had met a few times, always polite, always friendly, but never like this. Her voice carried an undertone that made my stomach churn, equal parts amusement and something darker. Hello. I stammered, unsure of where this conversation was going. Oh, come on, she laughed, a sound too intimate for comfort. Don't act so surprised. Emily's busy, or ignoring you apparently. So I thought maybe you and I could do something about that. I froze. Did she just ask me out? Was this some twisted joke, or worse, a setup? My mind raced. Emily had barely acknowledged me all night, and now her friend was calling me out, flirtatious and deliberate. I tried to keep my voice steady. Jessica, this isn't appropriate. She didn't miss a beat. Oh, come on, it's just dinner. No big deal. And honestly, it's kind of funny. You're at home, she's ignoring you, and here I am, giving you a chance to have some attention for once. You deserve it, don't you think? I hung up, my hand trembling slightly. I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or confront Emily. Part of me wanted to storm into the living room and demand answers. Part of me wanted to escape, to leave before this night got any worse. But I stayed, sitting silently in the dim glow of the living room, pretending I hadn't just been called out by the friend of the woman who was supposed to love me. Emily eventually noticed my silence. She looked up from her phone, eyebrows raised. You okay? She asked, casual, as if nothing had happened. I looked at her, really looked at her, and the disbelief in my eyes must have shown. You don't care at all, do you? I said, voice low but sharp. You just ignore me all night while your friend thinks it's okay to call me up and suggest dinner? Her expression didn't change. There was no guilt, no apology, just a faint flicker of irritation at being questioned. What are you talking about? She said, the words carefully neutral. I took a deep breath, realizing I needed evidence before this got any further. Jessica just called me, said she wanted to take me out. While you're sitting here pretending I don't exist. Her eyes widened for just a second, a subtle crack in the wall she always maintained. Then she laughed softly, a sound meant to dismiss but failing entirely. Jessica? She's just joking. Don't take it so seriously. But I did. I always had. And in that moment, I understood that the problem wasn't just Emily's ignorance. It was the way she let others cross lines I never thought they would. The call was more than flirtation. It was a reflection of what I had been feeling all along. Invisible. Unimportant. Replaceable. I left the living room, walking to the kitchen to pour myself a drink, trying to steady my racing thoughts. I needed clarity, a plan. I couldn't confront Emily blindly, not without knowing whether this was a one-off call, an ongoing flirtation, or part of a larger betrayal. I decided to reply to Jessica, cautiously, keeping my tone neutral. Why are you doing this? I typed and hesitated before sending. Her response came almost instantly. Because you deserve someone who sees you. Don't overthink it. Just dinner. No harm. Just fun. Fun. That word stabbed me. Fun. My wife ignored me for the evening, and her friend was treating me like an option, a source of amusement. The betrayal wasn't physical, not yet, but it was emotional, and perhaps more painful than anything else. When I returned to the living room, Emily had her back to me, scrolling again. Are you done over there? She asked, voice casual. I swallowed my anger. No, Emily. I think we need to talk, I said, voice steady now, calm but firm. Not about dinner plans or phone calls, but about us. About the fact that I feel invisible in my own home, in my own marriage. She didn't respond immediately. I could feel the tension, the uncertainty in her body language, the way she shifted slightly as if my words had caught her off guard. For the first time all night, the room felt real, like the pretense had been stripped away. Fine, she said finally, voice clipped. Talk then. But don't make it dramatic. I didn't. I laid it all out. The call from Jessica, the weeks of feeling ignored, the subtle indifference that had become her armor. I spoke slowly, deliberately, letting each word land, watching her reaction. By the time I finished, Emily was silent. Not angry, not defensive, just quiet. And in that quiet, I realized something crucial. I wasn't going to be ignored anymore. Whether she acknowledged it or not. I had made myself seen, both by her and by myself. Later that night, as I went to bed, my phone buzzed again. Jessica. But this time, I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The message didn't matter. What mattered was that I had confronted the truth. And it was up to Emily to decide whether she wanted to be part of it or continue the pattern that had almost broken me. Some betrayals come from actions, some come from neglect. Emily's wasn't a single moment of infidelity. It was the cumulative weight of being unseen. But tonight, in the middle of the storm, I had drawn a line. The call from her friend had been the trigger, the catalyst, but the real revelation was inside me. I would not allow myself to be treated as invisible any longer. And in that silent victory, I finally felt in control, finally awake, and finally fully alive.